fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Yeah, it is. We are getting close to Thanksgiving and the Thanksgiving holidays, when your college kids that you sent to these indoctrination centers, high price indoctrination centers, are going to be coming back to tell you everything that you've done wrong and what terrible people you are, while deliciously munching on their first meal with meat in months, under with the sneakers that you paid for, underneath your table that you paid for, underneath your roof that you paid for. Don't know why y'all let that happen, but anyway, something that is, it's been on my mind, because I am a veteran of the educational system, and it's something that I have really tried to get kids to realize, as they're navigating, and parents that they're navigating this whole college thing, is choosing majors, career paths. Basically, majors are career paths, and I don't think they're taught that way anymore. I think majors are almost like interest path. What interests you? What's your passion? Bah humbug. These are career paths, because college costs too much for them not to be career paths, unless you're uber wealthy. Unless you are uber wealthy, unless you are one of the many of Elon Musk's children. Unless you have access to billions of dollars just to pursue your interest and pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. Not many of us do. So these majors are career paths, and they must be considered. I love this. I saw this today on Twitter. It is, and it's behind me. It is from the Washington Post. The most regretted college majors that someone took and decided, holy crap. I am super sad that I did this. I am super regretful. Let's start from the bottom up. You can't see the bottom here on my thing here, but let's start from the bottom up. About 23% of people who chose engineering as a major regret it. Now, it doesn't say why, but what we're pretty sure of it isn't because of the career path, unless it's just a job you don't like, because it isn't about the money. It really isn't about the money. So that was in this list of regrets, the least regretted major, about 23%. And I'm guessing the job and the workflow is probably booty, but the money makes up for it, right? That allows you to do other stuff. The next one up on the list, with about a 31% regret rate, is computer information sciences. So often we think that, anyway, we used to think anyway, especially in the 70s and 80s, that if we could put somebody on a career to computer, because everything's going towards computers, everything. I mean, that everything's gonna be lovely. First of all, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, and that whole thing has changed so drastically that you don't need a computer science degree to do well, in technology. You don't. A lot of certifications are available on your own. You can learn computer language to write apps for your telephone on your own, and write great apps on your own, sell them on your own. So, and I think that's what a lot of people who are taking computer science and information science, or IT, are learning. They're learning that, an expensive 4-year degree in this is not necessary. well, not as necessary as it was before. And for the most part, the things that you're learning now, by the time you get out, the whole landscape has changed. All right, physical sciences and math. Now, these are super. If you decide that you are going to be a math major, not a math education major, because there's more regret about that. That's about 32% or so, as I'm sort of gauging this chart in regret. And why? It's because of the career path. There aren't as many there's not as much career path for somebody who's a pure physics major or a pure, geology major or a pure math major. Where do you work? How do you make enough money to pay off this $250,000 loan that you have? You don't. Regret. Um, in the health professions, and it is my thought that the health professions are brutal. There is about 32% regret in health professions. And I'm not talking about doctors necessarily. I think we were talking about everybody but doctors, nurses, and that kind of thing. That while the money as a youngster may be good, the work-life balance is booty, is zero. And the competition to get there is brutal. Life sciences, the next on the list of regret, with about 35% of the people who choose that deciding, oh my God, what did I do? And because outside of university, there's nothing. There's nothing. Let's go up to law. Pushing everybody down the same rabbit hole of you want to be a doctor or a lawyer is just the most stupid thing ever. First of all, everybody's not built for it. And this idea, if you become a lawyer and you get your law degree, that you're going to be rich, that's a wives' tale. A lot of lawyers go to work for these monstrous firms, uh, and become not much more than paralegals. That's not why they thought they practiced law. Doesn't work out like they thought it would. Business and management, because a lot of people. Well, if you don't know what else you're going to do, I'm going to major in business. And what have we found out here in this century? That if you want to be good at business, start a business. And we also learned in college that a lot of these people teaching these business classes have never run a business. They've never run a business. They've never had to sign a check. They've never had to meet a payroll. They've never had to go to a pawn shop to get money to make sure payroll was paid. Small businesses do that, by the way. Little known fact, but it's true. And by the time they get out, they are 4 to 6 years behind someone in business who's been out there actually doing it. And again, career path, they get out, they have a degree in business like everybody else, which is one of the reasons they thought, gosh, I should probably majored in something else. 40% of people who choose education as a major regret it. My guess is that a lot of people get out before they graduate. Because you find out that it's nothing like you thought it was. Like a lot of people, who get into education, um, idolize have a teacher that they idolize because that teacher was super nice to them and super helpful and cared about them and they really did. And they really did. I love Mr. Keene, a band director in high school. The only real father figure that I've had, really. And I thought Mr. Keene hung the moon. So I wanted to be like him. Well, the job, I learned. is nothing like you thought it was. We didn't have an inkling of the 10th of what people who go into education have to deal with. It isn't just, and it's not the money, although for a lot of people it is. And if it's the money for you, then you're an idiot, because every school district that I know of in the country, and if there is one that doesn't do this, please let me know. Send me an email right below, or write in the comments below. Publishes what the salary is, especially the beginning salary. So you knew beforehand that you were going to make booty, right? And hopefully you knew what an apartment costs, and you knew what car insurance costs, and you knew what renter's insurance costs, and you knew what maybe that the health insurance they were going to provide was going to be sketch. You didn't know. Well, you didn't do your due diligence, so that's on you. But a lot of people get out and think that they're going to be able to change the world, and you're not. One teacher where I went to college said something that stuck with me a lot of years. If you can change the life effectively of 1 or 2 people in a 30-year career, you have done well. You have done well. And that will be and that's a very important, and not to diminish it, that's a very important accomplishment. But this idea that you're going to go out and change the world is what leads to a lot of people to burnout. And if you and these people take in that if they're not changing the lives of dozens of people a week, then they're failing, and that causes burnout. So they end up regretting their choice. They figure it out. At 41% is vocational, technical, and technical training. Here's where it gets weird. I think people get into this thinking that it's something that it isn't, because when you take this training, it's hard. It's a lot harder than, it isn't the path less taken, really. It's hard. Not everybody is made to be a welder. Not everybody is made to do some of the things that this training it's a lot harder than they had anticipated. And unfortunately, a lot of the systems are a lot more expensive than they have to be. Some of these side schools, these well, show up here and we'll teach you how to be an LPN and blah 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 blah, and you can get financial aid. Some of those buy here pay here schools. Yeah, I think that's what causes some of that regret. Social and behavioral sciences. At 45%, and at 48% humanities and arts. I'm going to be an English major. I'm going to major in English. I'm going to major in 17th century English poetry. Again, if you are one of Elon Musk's many children and have access to that kind of cash, then you can go ahead and go to college and be a 16th century English poetry major. You can. And get all that knowledge and get all that information. You can. But if you're my kid, no, you can't. That doesn't lead you to anywhere. It doesn't lead you to anywhere except extreme debt, which I cannot help you with. I got my own. Thank you. I got my own. Doesn't lead you anywhere. Social and behavioral sciences, social work, all these things that because again, you're going to change the world, and what you're doing is going to work for the government, and you're going to get involved in the biggest Leviathan soul crushing system that exists on the planet. So about 45% of the people who get into that regret it. Folks, as some of you are about to, start in the spring, start making college visits, before you do that. Promise me this, promise me a couple things. You won't pick a college based on how good their football team is. Go Noles. First of all, you won't do that. You will not pick a college based on how good their football team is. You won't pick a college based on how pretty it is. You will talk about majors and trying to find the best programs, the program that fits the student, and talk about the return on investment. If they want to be a lawyer, what will it cost to become a lawyer? And what could they expect in 7 to 10 years? You got to talk about it like it's an investment. You're going to spend this money now in hopes of, at some point, that education paying for itself. What will it take for that education to pay for itself? How long will it take? What will you have to do? Talk about it. Talk about all these majors. Talk about them with some thought of return on investment. Please do that. Promise that. You won't pick a school because they have a good football team. You will not pick a school because it's pretty. You will, however, talk about majors and schools that fit your kid and talk about return on investment. My name is Willie Lawson, fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.